What it is, guys, your boy Alan with an episode of Analyzing, and today we have the Champions League quarterfinals. We're going to start off with Bayern versus Arsenal and go down the list, get over the first leg. We're going to go over the first legs and the second leg, just overall my opinions, and then we're going to get into the second, and we're going to get into the predictions in the semifinals. First leg, okay, Bayern versus Arsenal. The game was in London. It ended 2-2, goals by Saka and Trossard, and for Bayern, Gnabry and a penalty by Harry Kane. From a tactical point of view, the Gunners, they had more possession at 59%. They were more attacking on the right side with Saka and Ben White overlapping him until Zinchenko came on, because now Sané, he had to go and press the fullback, where before with Kiwar, he could stay off him a bit because he wouldn't progress the ball. Bayern, they were great on the counter. Gnabry goal, it's a great pass by Sané as Declan Rice stepped forward. Sané sees the space, passes it to Goretzka to find Gnabry. And Arsenal's plan of forcing the ball to Dyer, who messed up a lot in the back for the Barbarians. There's a lot of controversies. Neuer and the Saka penalty not given, as well as Gabriel picking up the ball in the box. I didn't know. For me, I get it, bro. A lot of people are talking about it. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? I get the point of view if it's not a penalty because he didn't really understand what was going on, and then you don't really want to give a penalty in that type of game. But if we go by the rules, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Yeah, you're going to change the dynamic of the game, but that doesn't matter, bro. It's a penalty. If it was the other way around, it's still got to be a penalty. So that's all my opinion on it. Story point of view, I think the whole point of view, especially this whole tie, but first leg, was that the pundits, man, specifically ESPN's FC pundits, were surprised that Bayern played well, which is blasphemous to me, bro. That's blasphemous. Munich, I know they haven't been at their best this year, and the Gunners, they're fighting, for that Premier League. But number one, UCL is different than the domestic league. Okay, it's a whole different competition. It's a whole different mindset. It's proven 1,000,000 times that your form in the domestic league is not the same as your form in the Champions League. It could be totally different. Number two, this is Bayern. This is Bayern Munich. Okay, they have class. They have a hierarchy. They have history. 6 UCLs all time. How many does Arsenal have? 0. Bayern, 2 UCLs in 10 years. Arsenal have 1 league title in 20 years. So be humble, Gunner fans. There's levels to this. No pray for Munich. No pray for London. There's levels to this. And you guys seen it in the second leg. Bavaria, they ended the game. And Bavaria, the game ended 1-0 for Kimmich's goal, and it ended 3-2 on aggregate. First half, both teams were playing conservatively, 50% of possession for both, and they only combined for 10 shots. Both teams combined for 10 shots. Second half, Bayern woke up with 11 shots, while the Londoners stayed asleep with 2. Moral of the whole tie: stay humble, Arsenal. They were talking mad shit. Premier League bias was speaking through, even not on the Arsenal fans, but just pundits in general were saying, or the Premier League fans. It's Premier League. Bro, now Premier League is the best league in the world, but that doesn't mean that all the other teams are trash. Literally the opposite. I told people Bayern is Bayern. They're like us. They're like Real Madrid. They have hierarchy in this competition. We have the same, and that's what happens. Bayern just play better. You could argue, I guess, that Arsenal are the better team, but this year, the overall Bayern, bro. I told you, Bayern. I told all of it. Bayern is Bayern, and they gonna progress, especially versus a team like Arsenal, and they did. So beat me on that. Real Madrid versus City. In the first leg, it was in the new closed Bernado. And like I said on my Instagram at Analyzing Reaction after the game, these are the UCL nights. Right? 2 teams never giving up. This is football heritage. Now, it started with Bernado. scoring on a free kick at like 3 minutes, I think. Smart. But Lunin could do better on that. And then I was saying Lunin was going to struggle a bit, but he only struggled in the first leg. But in the second leg, different story. But then all of a sudden, we wake up with Camavinga deflection on Ruben. And then minutes later, City backline's too high. Stones tries to cover Vinicius. He sees Akanji super high. And then the gap between Akanji and Diaz, it's like a wide gap. So then, so he passes to Rodrigo, who runs in, passes Ortega. It's the first goal. Or no, second goal. So now it's 2-1. 20 minutes. And we look in control for most of the half, right? City looks flustered with us behind the ball, and in transition, they only had 4 shots in the first half. We really did well defensively. Second half, City stayed relentless. They kept pushing. Doesn't give in, and Foden at the 65, he has space, top of the box, and shows tremendous skill. Top left bins. Techers. Lunin ain't never getting that. He's never getting that. And then minutes later, obviously, Gundogan scores his banger outside of the box. City showed their resilience, their quality. Now it's 3-2. We look kind of dead. I'm thinking we lost this game. But again, Real Madrid, we show our hierarchy with Fede Valverde's volley to make the game end 3-3. It was just a great back and forth game, right? No one had control. And from Madridista point of view, I'm disappointed how we let City get back into the game. At 2-1, I think we really died the game, but then just got back into it, showed the resilience. But I'm going to give more credit to City because of that resiliency and the quality to back it up. So I'll also be proud of my team because we showed we're Real Madrid and we're never out of it. We're never tired. We're never out of these ties, especially in the Bernado. From players, Haaland, tactical point of view, Haaland, he was pocketed by Rudiger like 4 out of the 5 times they had a one-on-one duel. Rudiger mostly won all of them. A lot of people calling out Jude. I wouldn't say he played bad. It was just average. He didn't play like spectacularly, but it was not bad in all means. He made some good tackles to go on the counter, controlled the midfield pace of the game, so I wasn't disappointed in him at all. A lot of people calling it the City and Madrid tie, a UCL Clasico, and I gotta agree. Okay, we bring the best out of each other, seems like in the past 3 years. So it is what it is. This is what we do, and everyone enjoys the games. We enjoy the. I mean, from a Madridista point of view, we enjoy the games because it's good. But I mean, you're on your nerve, you're on your edge of the seat most of the time, so it's never comfortable. So it's not that. I wouldn't say it's that enjoyable. But in the second leg, okay, in the Etihad, regular time was 1-1. Goals by Rodrigo and Kevin De Bruyne. It went to penalties, and we won on penalties 4-3. Misses by Bernado, who kicked it right down the middle, trying to do Panenka. Horrible miss. And then Kovacic and Modric missed it. Kovacic, obviously, for City and Modric, or Madrid. Citizens, they had all the ball. They had like 67% with 33 shots. However, only 9 on target. Real Madrid defensively played exceptional with Ancelotti's 4-2-4 that made it really difficult for City to run their build-up play, and that's basically how it ended. Right, City tried everything, but Los Blancos just blocked everything. We're just so solid defensively. Doku versus Carvajal was pretty dangerous, right? When Doku came in for Grealish, I was a little nervous there because Doku was beating him on them one-on-ones, and it led to KDB's goal. But obviously, we got the game at the end. Overall, man, I'm ashamed that I didn't choose my team, that I didn't pick them to progress. I should have known that tenemos jerarquía, we have hierarchy, that we have that class that I was talking about, that we have that history, we're the kings of the UCL, and that this is our competition, and everybody knows that, and it just shows on these type of nights, and it happened again. I am ashamed as a Madridista that I didn't pick it. I should have known, and I'm ashamed. But we progress, because Real Madrid. Forgive me, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Atleti versus Dortmund. Okay, the first leg was in Civitas in Madrid. Atleti won 2-1, like I predicted. I actually got that one. From goals from DePaul and Lino, an assist by Griezmann. While for Dortmund, Haller came on and gave him a spark. Atleti, it was the same game plan, don't always have counter, but surprisingly both goals came from a high press, which is something something Simeone does not do. Los Rojiblancos looked in control for most of the game as they had less possession, but they had more shots, 14-12. Shots on target, 9-4, and they had a better XG, 2.18 to 0.87. Until Haller's goal, Dortmund, they got dangerous and had opportunities to tie or even win the game. So the first leg had people thinking the Germans and Dortmund, they could probably come back as Atleti are vulnerable away from home. All that. Well, that was true. It happened. And I was thinking that could be true, but I think Simeone was going to sit back and defend. Dortmund was going to overcommit their players and leave themselves exposed. And I was like, maybe Dortmund get another goal, but I thought Atleti was going to move it on. And they did not. In the second leg, Borussia being in Dortmund, they came back and they won 4-2 to win 5-4 on aggregate. It was an insane back and forth game, so I didn't get that right at all. Atleti did sit back and defend, but they just concede goals. The Germans just attack, and that's how they got the first 2 goals by Brandt and Madsen to be up 3-2 on aggregate. But Atleti then, they know. Simeone knows we have to attack now. He puts in Correa. Hummel scores an own goal, then Correa scores, making it 4-3 on aggregate. So Atleti winning, so now they're going back to defending, and Fulkrug and Savasser score, making it 4-2, 5-4 on aggregate. Moral of the story is Atleti's not good at sitting back and just defending a lead. They are not good at that. They just, I don't know why, man. They freeze or something because they're just not good at that. Now, Simeone should have just played attacking football, see where it goes, but of course, he's Simeone. He went back to his conservative tactics, and that's what lost him the tie. Disappointing for his Rojiblancos, man, because against Dortmund, don't get me wrong, Dortmund, they haven't been the greatest in the league, but I already talked about that. It don't matter how you are in your domestic league. This is the Champions League, different competition, different mindset. So I get it, but I think Atleti had this, bro. I had this where defending is supposed to be their strong suit, and they suck. How does that even work out? How are you better at attacking football, but your whole thing is to defend? Makes no sense, but whatever. Dortmund pass. PSG versus Dortmund. All right, first leg was in Paris. Barca won 3-2. Doblete by Rafinha, which is a pretty assist by Pedri, and then Christensen, and a goal by Christensen. And for the Parisians, was goals by Dembele and Vitinha. I think the first game was a pretty even game. All right, first half, both teams were playing good football. They just couldn't get the goal until Rafinha obviously scored. The game really started in the second half when Dembele tied it up. PSG got momentum, and then it switched. Rafinha possibly best game in a Barca shirt. He had 2 goals, 3 chances created, 2 out of 3 successful dribbles. Mbappe wasn't really good this game. He did have 3 chances created, but he had 0 shots on target, 1 out of 5 successful dribbles. He lost the ball multiple times, 3 offsides. Barca did a really good job in defending him as a unit. Kubarsi, I was saying he's going to really struggle versus him, and he did not. He did not struggle, so he proved me wrong. And Mbappe, he disappointed this game. Xavi had 2 subs, and that his 2 subs contributed into the goals after, Pedri assist and the Christensen goal. Those are the 2 subs. Last few weeks, started Barca fans and the Barca board and people were saying, we want him to stay now. And I was telling y'all, I don't think he's a bad manager. You just gotta have patience. And now, they want him to stay, but he's not gonna stay. So we'll see what Barca get. Rumors are that Rafa Marquez. Now I'm pretty mixed on that because as a Mexican-American, I want Rafa to do good. I want him to do well. So Mexican coach doing good, right? But then at the same time, I don't, because I don't want Barca to be good because I'm a Madridista. So I'm half and half, but we'll see how it ends up. The second leg was in Spain. All right, PSG, they come back and they win 4-1 to move on to the semi, 6-4 on aggregate. Ronald Araujo getting his red card in the 29th minute is what changed the game. Barca got nervous. They flipped. They got really nervous, and PSG flipped into attack mode. I personally think that even with my disdain for Barca, that a red is a bit harsh for that tackle. It's a tactical foul by Barcola. He gets past him. He obviously gets past Araujo. And Kubarsi, he's not catching up to him at all. So Ronald is the last man. He grabs him on the shoulder, and they're running fast. So like any slight contact is a force. It's gonna bring you down to the ground. I think maybe only a yellow was warranted, but I understand why the ref gave it, because it falls under the rules criteria that he's the last man. So obviously he has to give him a red. But I mean, personally, I wouldn't have given him that, but it falls under the rules. But Barca, he just fell after that. And Dembele, he had 4 dribbles, 1 and a goal. Vitinha, 2 created chances and a goal. And then Mbappe, a brace. The boys stepped up. Something PSG never does. And that's what they did. They move on to the semis to play Dortmund. I think overall the tie was really close, as we see in the first leg, the first 20 minutes. The second leg, Araujo's mental red is what caused Barca to fall. And the Parisians, they move on. A lot of conky Barca fans saying they were going to win the Orejona. Okay, buddies. Okay. That didn't happen, but... that didn't happen, but... I feel bad only for my boy Brian. Other than that, F all the rest of y'all. No one likes you. But another thing was pretty big that recently came out was about a Gundogan talking to the media about Ronald's not supposed to do that. It's a red. And then, obviously people are like, should he criticize him publicly? Should he not? But personally, I understand both sides. But I'm actually going to go on Gundogan's. I'm going to be in Gundogan's corner on this one. I'm going to agree with him. Because we don't know. Maybe, people are saying, why didn't he tell him personally? Maybe he did. Maybe he did tell him personally. Maybe he's trying to tell him about other errors he's done about being too aggressive. Maybe he's already talked to him one-on-one. And then, it's just not getting to Araujo's head. So then now Gundogan's doing something else. Now he's like, now I'm going to say it publicly. Now I'm going to say it. Maybe after the game he told him privately, like, hey, bro, that what you did, mental error, was not good. And then Ronald could have been like, oh, yeah, whatever. But he didn't really take it. So now he's like, all right, now I'm going to say it publicly. See how that changes something. Could have happened. Who knows? We don't know. I'm not in the dressing room. You're not in the dressing room. So maybe that happened. And then Gundogan's, he's a winner. He's just coming off a trouble-winning season. Barca won the league last year. But what else have they really accomplished? None, especially this year. And they're trying to get to what they were. And Gundogan's that step. So I'm actually with Gundogan on this, but it's better because it causes turmoil in the dressing room. It causes turmoil for the club. So I'm all for it. As a Madridista, I want to see Barca suffer and burn to the ground. So I'm good with this. Either way, it's funny for us. It's funny. Let's get on to this UCL semi-predictions. Real Madrid versus Bayern. Let's get into the tactical, right? Let's get into Tuchel versus Ancelotti. Okay, who's gonna win? No idea. No, I'm gonna go. It's a pretty even game, but I'm gonna go with us. I'm gonna go Real Madrid because I think we beat the favorite City, and I think if we beat City, we could beat anyone. We could beat anyone in this competition. And I'm not gonna use that same logic because I'd be contradicting myself, saying Bayern haven't been great this year, but I think they'll give us a game. For sure, they're gonna give us a game. We're gonna give them a game, and it's gonna be pretty even. But I think we're just gonna knock it out at the end because Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. I think Rudiger could do a good job with Harry Kane. Not as good as Haaland because Harry Kane, he could play as a false nine. He could drop in deeper, play the wings or whatever. That's what he could do. I think got a good tactical in the midfield. Bellingham versus Musiala. It's my two boys, man. It's my two midfield boys. About the same age, so it's cool to see. But I'm gonna go Real Madrid because they're my team, obviously. And it sucks because I picked Bayern to win the whole thing. But I'm not doubting my team. So I'm gonna go Real Madrid to win it. Go to the final. Other semifinal, PSG versus Dortmund. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the score. I think the first leg's gonna be. Where's the first leg gonna be? I think the first leg is probably. I want to say in Bernabeu. Not 100%, but I do want to say the Bernabeu because I don't know. I just want to say it's gonna be in the Bernabeu, but might be tripping. Never mind. It's gonna be in Bavaria. First leg's gonna be in Bavaria. So I'm gonna say a draw. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 1-1. 1-1 first leg. Back in the Bernabeu, and we're gonna beat them 2-1. 2-1 in the Bernabeu on the second leg. The first leg's gonna be 1-1. Book it. Okay, PSG versus Dortmund now. PSG, I think, is gonna win. Now, just because of Mbappe mostly. Okay, I think mostly just Mbappe. Dortmund, I know they've gone this far, but I don't really trust them. I want to give Edin Terzic, some credit for having his team in the semis. But I don't know. But I don't really trust PSG either. I think it's going to be really even. I think it's a really 50-50. But I'm going with PSG because they got Mr. Mbappe. Now, Mr. Mbappe didn't show up in the first leg versus Barca, but in the second leg, he did pretty good, Mr. Mbappe. So, Mbappe is just that guy who can change any part of the game. And that midfield, bro, Vitinha's probably going to dominate that midfield. He's been underrated recently, bro. Versus Barca, both legs. You got a goal on both ties. He was controlling the midfield. I think that's what he's going to do versus Dortmund. He's going to do that versus Dortmund. I think that's going to, with both of them guys, is what's going to push. Oh, and Luis Enrique is a pretty good manager. That's going to push them to the final. And I think it's going to be a Real Madrid, a PSG final. But PSG first leg is going to be in, let me check where it's going to be at. It might be Paris first. No, it's going to be in Dortmund in the first leg. So I'm going to say 2-1. No, 3-2. 3-2 Dortmund. Dortmund's going to win the first leg. Second leg, PSG win 2-0. That's what I'm going with. The second leg. First leg's going to be 3-2 Dortmund. And then second leg, 2-0 for PSG. That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with that. Thank you for listening to the episode. That's the end of the episode. Thank you for listening to UCL. We'll see what happens, man. I'm still sad I doubted my team, but we're back. Like we never left. See y'all in the next one.